Okay, so let's see the practical app you are going to develop at the end of these lessons. So this is the source code you will be developing, and once you run it, you will see a web application, and this is a survey system you are going to develop, a real world survey system, and this is a complete project where the admin can log in, can register if they want, or they can log in using their previous credentials. Likewise, and sign in, and then admin will be taken to the admin dashboard, which has lots of options such as to define the questions. These are all coming from the database dynamically, and you will learn how to add, edit, delete the data and populate the data dynamically likewise, and define the questions so the data will appear dynamically. And then you learn how to create settings pages and save the data to the database once again, and see who are the respondents who has taken this survey, and with the log information. You will learn how to create sophisticated search dashboards, and you will learn about how to filter data and search, where admin can find information about different users who has taken the survey. So and then if I log out, and then a normal user, if a normal user comes to the home page, a normal user can start taking the survey. A user can register if needed, or if not, a user can take it anonymously. User will be able to take this anonymously. Let's say if this is test2 user, so test2 at, so, and if user says no, I don't want to register, and if user says next, then the survey will start anonymously, and all the data is coming from the database. So you learn about connecting to a remote database, which is not in this computer, it's on a remote server. So you will learn how to do that, and then you will learn how to take the survey questions, and there will be multiple survey questions. So I will just fast forward this. So I fast forwarded the questions, I just click next and answered them. And final question is, what is the state? So if the user says, okay, this is the state, and click next. And these are the questions I answered. So, and then the user or the respondent can review them and submit the answers. So then the data will go into the remote database. So you will learn about how to save it, and click next, and then it takes the user or the respondent back to the home page. So this is the app you will be developing at the end of these lessons. And the specialty of this app is it's a data driven app, and it's completely dynamic, and all the data is coming from the database, and there is admin dashboard, a sophisticated admin dashboard, and a separate user sessions. You will learn the complete source code from the scratch to develop this. So let's go and develop this application now. Let's start doing it now. Hi everyone, welcome to the ASP.NET complete project survey system part 3 database, the DBMS software. So this is the continuation of the complete project survey system, and in this lesson we are talking about the online remote database we are going to use for this project. We will be using these tools for this lecture, and make sure to cover these prerequisites before you start with this lecture. So in this session you will be learning about the MS SQL Server remote database, and for that you can use different let's say if you are keeping your database remotely on a server, you can use different providers or different services. But for this project we will be using www.somi.com SOMEE.com online MS SQL server as the DBMS. So this online MS SQL server, the www.somi.com is one of the options. Keep that in mind. So there are multiple options. You can even have let's say a cloud hosted database of your own. So it doesn't matter where you put your data. It's up to you to decide where you want to keep your data. Is it in somi.com or somewhere else? Because at the end, once you create your database, when the database is on a remote server, and when it comes to writing the code, what you do is in the code you put just 4 parameters about the database, such as the server address of the database and the database name and the username and the password. So whether you create it in the cloud or anywhere else or in the somi.com or somewhere else, for your ASP.NET program, you need just 4 variables or 4 parameters, as I said earlier. So which are once again the server address of the database and the database name, username and password. So once we demonstrated it in somi.com to create the database and to do everything, you can use that knowledge to apply it to any different provider. So the lesson plan is going to be a practical demonstration as usual. So now let's go and look at the practical. So there's no special reason for us selecting this somi.com, but it's one of the options. So when you use this provider, what you have to do is you will have to say you can use the free .NET hosting option for you to experiment. So you can click on this, like, and you can. It's a free option. So it includes SQL Server, right? It has MS SQL database, as you can see. So we don't need all of these services. What we need is only, for now, what we need is only the MS SQL Server database, because we need to have the MS Microsoft SQL Server database. So that is why we are just going for this. So what you have to do is just click order now, right? And then you can you put your data, right? And you can register for a new account, right? So let's do that now. So make sure to give a user ID and put your details, and yeah, and click register new account. So it will create a new account. Then it says you will receive an email, and it's asking to look at your emails and then enter the validation code. So you have to go and check your email and open the email and get the validation code, copy and paste it here. Let's do it now. Okay, so let's click the confirm button now. So then it takes you to a screen like this. So then you can say checkout. There's no charge because you are going for the free option. So just say checkout. So now you will be taken to the dashboard. You will have an account, and also just check your email to see if you have to confirm your account, right? Just check the email and confirm it if necessary. So then you can start by giving a subdomain. It's up to you what you want to give here, but we are not going to really yeah, so we just put it because we just want to go to our database and load it. So we just put this data, only the subdomain, that's it, and you will say create website, that's it. So let's put some value here. So put your subdomain and click create website, and then it does the initial creations. So it's done, and then our focus is the database. So if you look at the left hand side and if you look at the bottom of it, you can see MS SQL and you can see databases. MS SQL means Microsoft SQL. So click on databases, and here you can create your new database. So what you have to do is click create button, and then you can give a name for your database, right? So give some name for give a name for your database, and then select the MS SQL Server version, Microsoft SQL Server version, right? And click create empty database. So once you click it, it will create your database, right? So database is created. Yeah, and now if you look at your left hand side in the navigator, you can see under databases, it will display the database created by you. So just click on that database and then it will load all the data what you require to remotely connect to this database. So keep in mind couple of things. The first thing is now this is a free version of from this provider. So when you go click on the database left hand side, you can see it allows to create you only one database, and if you need more databases you have to go for a paid plan. But if it's just one database for testing, this is more than enough. Now the beauty of this is going to be a remote database. So and your ASP.NET code you are going to write next will connect to this remote database from your local machine. So that's the beauty of this. So the remote database, which is a Microsoft SQL Server database, and now left hand side, if I click on the database which you created, you will get the data you need to connect to the database. So when I say the data, what I mean is, I said you need 4 things to connect to the database remotely. One is the server address. So here it gives you the server address. So whatever the value here in front of this is what you have to copy and put your ASP. You have to copy it, and that is what you have to put into ASP.NET program to connect to this server. Second thing is your database name, which is the database name you gave a little while ago, right? So when you create it, you just gave the database name. Second. Third thing is your username and the password, right? So you have given, so once you create the database, this somi.com provider will give you a login name, which is what you have to use as the username and a password. And also it shows a connection string for some people to use it directly. So that's it, right? So it's a very straightforward, simple process. So now you will understand creating a remote database is not a very difficult task, because you just need to find a provider and just create an account and simply log into the dashboard of the provider and just create the database. Simple as that. So the next steps, what remains next is for you to create the tables, which is we will be doing that we will do in the next lesson, in the next part after this. So in the next lesson, what we will do is we will basically go down and you will basically look at so you will see multiple options here under the database. So there's one option called TSQL console. So if I just click on that from the left hand side, so it will take you to this screen where you can write your SQL statements and create the tables, and then you can insert the sample data and do all the stuff. So then when you do it here, it just creates everything in the remote database, right? So you get that from left hand side navigator TSQL console, and we'll be writing the SQL in the next lesson, in the next part. Okay, so the conclusion is you created your remote MS SQL server, the remote database, and we use just one provider called www.somi.com. You can use any of the providers. Just what you need to get is only the concept from this lesson and do it the same way in any provider's dashboard. And then we created the remote database, and in the dashboard we showed you where the database server name IPs and the database name and the username and the password. So these 4 bullet points you need to use this in your ASP code. So we'll be using these references when we do this practical project. So look at the next parts of this lecture series for you to complete this project. So this is a complete project we are going to develop with you. So make sure to look at all the steps and develop the complete project. So in the next lesson, we will be creating the all the SQL statements for you to work with this. all the SQL statements. So we are very excited to see you in the next lesson to complete this. See you all in the next lesson.